Friends, welcome to our pre-full moon garden visualization in Capricorn 2025. Friends, let's remind ourselves why we use a garden before the full moon. DK told CDP, his disciple, to create a garden of beauty, then to perfect it and to use it. He also taught her how to dedicate it and to turn it into a shrine of consecration and to connect it in her mind with a thought of service. And he said to her, that which is thus created and used exists. And he told her that on the inner planes, her garden is of service to his group of disciples and to others in larger numbers than she thought. It was a place of gathering for many and a place of refuge for a few. And he asked her to enter her tower and to climb to the summit and then to release the light which is in her. And that will be to the garden of her soul what the sun is to the gardens of the world. And he asked her to watch the rays of light pouring out over the garden, awakening it to color and beauty, arousing it to movement and life, and calling forth the song of the birds and the hum of the bees, and evoking it to a responsive loveliness. And there he would meet her when the clouds of glamour roll away, and asked her to ponder on the symbolism hidden in this garden and to work steadily from this center of love and light. So then let's continue to build our healing garden as a group at some point within the 12 hours prior to each full moon, as DK requested, meeting him there and turning our garden into a shrine of consecration, and intending to offer our garden as a chalice for the love of hierarchy to be poured in selfless service to humanity. So before building our garden, let's align with our own soul. So raise your consciousness into the head, as high in the head as you can, and carry the thought or consciousness upward through the astral body, then the mind, then to the soul, and visualize a lotus fully open, scintillating with light as a symbol of your soul body. And now place yourself at the center of your lotus, realizing that you, the personality, and you, the soul, are one. So from that point, definitely and consciously assume the attitude of the observer, of the soul, detached and objective. And observe your personality below. Visualize your etheric body and see energy flowing freely up and down the etheric spine. And now consciously throw soul energy down into the center at the base of the spine using indigo blue light, the color of the ray of love. And now in your imagination, raise it slowly via the 5 centers up the etheric spine, then to the ajna, then to the crown, and up into the soul body. And say the soul mantra, knowing who you really are. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am will. I am love. I am fixed design. So let us sound one Om, as if you were the soul, as if you were the initiate. And now let's gather in our garden. At the entrance to our garden, we stroll through arches of climbing roses, Master KH favorite flower, we've been told. Clusters in abundance overhead, and choose the colors that you like. And as we stroll down the archway, let the roses gently caress your face as you breathe in the delicate aroma of the cascading flowers percolating through the air. Small, lovingly trimmed emerald green bushes line the stony pathway. And hear the crunch of the little stones under our steps. Along an embankment at the end of the archway, there are rows and rows of flowers, flowers of different hues and harmonizing tones of red and yellow and pink. And as we create these rows, we include our favorite flowers. The blooms shed fresh petals on the path, creating a soft path for us to walk on, releasing their individual fragrances as we step on them. On the opposite side of the embankment, we see right in the middle of our space of harmony, a lighthouse, standing tall and strong, shining beams of light in all directions as a symbol of our united group zone. And as we assemble there quietly, we hear a choir of birds fill the space with their clear and melodious notes, welcoming us to this unique and sacred space. A choir of angelic voices sing a soft tune, accompanied by the sound of harps, divas gently strumming the chords. Sitting still around the lighthouse, we feel the gentle warmth of the rays of the sun on our face, on our chest, and on our back, warming us up from the inside. And in the background, the breeze softly swishing through the tall eucalyptus trees chants a melodic lullaby. We are told by DK that eucalyptus trees are the most advanced in the vegetable kingdom. So it's quite fitting for them to be in our garden. So these majestic trees cast their protective and healing shadows on the grass as sunlight peeps through this peaceful garden. Around the lighthouse, we see a large, quiet pool of crystal clear waters. Flowing from the pool, we see rivulets as we hear the gentle trickle of water. We also see 3 wider streams of golden water flowing steadily. Across them are curved wooden bridges. In one area of the pool float lotuses in all stages of bloom. Some are in full bloom, revealing their gorgeous jewel, while others are just budding and barely showing their true color, but all reflecting their light in the healing waters. Just beyond the pool, a hidden path leads us to a cozy and serene corner. A chair or a bench and a small fountain containing supercharged, vitalizing water, perfumed by a single floating lotus, create the perfect spot for an informal sharing of one's difficulties or words of wisdom. Inhale the perfume of the flowers, imbuing and permeating the air. Everything in this garden quivers with livingness. And if you have a friend in need of healing, bring him or her in this little corner. In the distance, we hear the soothing sound of water, and we follow it. We come to a tranquil pool where cascading water gently hugs rocks as it joyfully spills in a blue pool below, while bubbles of spray ricochet spiritedly in the air. Lush ferns alongside the rocks, draping in the water, enhance the serenity of the place, while the fiery brilliance of the orange and red leaves of surrounding trees brings warmth and invigorating energy to the area. In our mind's eye, we follow a pathway which leads us to flower beds. They are a riot of spring color. Reds and creams and yellows and pinks of such vibrancy, winding their way like a gentle living stream among the trees. A row of violet flowers on either side of the meandering bed happily follows the path of the flowers as they release their subtle perfume. Butterflies flutter through the air with their iridescent wings, attracted by the silent serenade of the blooms. They are like the flowers of the air. Their delicate and fragile wings are like floating petals, catching the light and twinkling like diamonds in the air. Buzzing bees surf the open spaces from flower to flower, seeking pollen, which looks like bright golden pixie dust. Now, this garden that we've just created is our garden, our group garden. Now, let's take a moment to add a little corner that has our individual touch. So add the colors, the unique features, and flora of your own country that you'd like to blossom in this tranquil and serene space. Let's invite also the presence and the cooperation of the healing devas working under the Christ and Master DK. Visualize them in our garden, enlivening it with their magnetism. Sitting quiescent, our hearts beating as one. Let's link up with each other as we say the healer's mantra aloud together. with purity of motive, inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves for this work of healing. This offer we make as a group and to the ones we seek to heal, to our fellow men whom we love dearly, and we open our inner eyes, endeavoring to hold our mind unwaveringly in the group light. We know that Master DK too stands steady, pouring out upon us his love and strength, and endeavoring to lift us up into a higher state of consciousness. We are now receptive to Master DK's radiant energy. The light of the lighthouse begins to shine brighter and brighter, intensifying gradually. And soon this light begins to take shape, and a definite figure appears. And in our creative imagination, it is that of Master DK. He is present in our midst. So let us then be impressed by powerful waves of golden light emanating from Master DK at the summit of our lighthouse, streaming through our harmonious group, irradiating the garden around us, imbuing it with spiritual goals and desire for liberation. Feel the silent, supernal light of Capricorn immerse our sacred space, and let the Master's words precipitate, bringing deeper understanding of this mysterious sign of Capricorn. Capricorn depicts the 3 stages of evolution. Let's look at the first one, being the sign of the goat. The goat which seeks the sustenance in the most rocky and arid of all places. As the goat, he is man, the earthly, human, greedy seeker after the satisfaction of desire, climbing to the heights of worldly ambition. Or man, the equally selfish aspirant, hunting for the satisfaction of his aspiration. In the early stages upon the mutable cross, He is man, the blend of desire, water, and the animal nature, earth. Second, it is also the sign of the crocodiles, which live half in the water and half in dry land. And upon the reversed wheel, he is man, the blend of soul and form. And thirdly, it is spiritually the sign of the triumphant initiate, the unicorn of God, the symbol of the unicorn with its one horn outthrust like a single spear upon his brow, instead of the two horns of the scavenging goat. Upon the fixed cross, the goat becomes the unicorn and leads to victory. The crocodile, the goat, and the unicorn depict three stages of man's unfoldment. Capricorn is one of the three horn signs as transformers, catalysts. So these three horn signs, Aries, Taurus, and Capricorn, are the great transformers under the great creative plan. They are in the nature of catalysts. Each of them opens a door into one of the divine centers of expression, symbols in the body of the planetary logos of the three higher centers in man, the head, the heart, and the throat. They are as doorways, portals. Aries opens the door into Shambhala. Taurus opens the door into hierarchy, while Capricorn, esoterically called the doorway into the life of those who know not death, opens the door into the hierarchy in a higher aspect. In these three signs and their relationship upon the fixed cross lies hidden the mystery of Makara and of the crocodiles. The symbol for the sign of Capricorn is most mysterious. It conceals the mystery of the crocodiles, or Makara. Note the Egyptian god holding an ankh, symbol of life itself. Hieroglyph of Venus, the hierarchical ruler of Capricorn. Note also the symbolic crocodile or Makara's headdress. The fifth creative hierarchy of the crocodiles or Makara is governed by Venus, the hierarchical ruler of Capricorn. Who is the fifth creative hierarchy? As the decay tells us, that the fifth hierarchy is a dual one. This hierarchy yields, as we know, the dual aspects of manas, one in the three worlds and one which makes itself felt in the higher spheres. They are the fivefold links, the benign uniters and the producers of atonement. Esoterically, they are the saviors of the race. And from them emanates that principle which, in conjunction with the highest aspect, lifts the lower aspect up to heaven. The units of the fifth hierarchy are called the hearts of fiery love. They save through love, and in their turn, these lives are peculiarly close to the great heart of love of the solar logos. These great redeeming angels, who are the sons of men on their own true plane, the mental, are ever therefore pictured as taking the form of 12 petaled lotuses. This symbology, linking them up with the sun of divine love, the manifested solar system, which is said to be a cosmic 12-petaled lotus, and with a logoic causal lotus equally of a 12-petaled nature. We have therefore a direct flow of love flowing from the logoic 12-petal lotus, soul of our solar logos, to the 12-petaled heart in a human being, to the central point of life in the atom. Thus, the tiny atom is linked with a great central life of the solar system. Let us pause for a minute and let's think in the heart as a soul group, opening our hearts and minds as we visualize with Venusian clarity the flow of life and love from the egoic lotus of our solar logos on the cosmic mental plane to his heart center on the monadic plane, then to the heart center of our planetary logos, our hierarchy on the Buddhic plane, to all the solar angels, the hearts of fiery love on the mental plane, to the heart center of all human beings, stimulating the very center of all etheric atoms on the etheric plane. What a beautiful and grandiose thought that is. Capricorn, the great sign of crystallization. So what are we crystallizing? In Capricorn, we are told, the man reaches either the height of personal ambition or he becomes the initiate, attaining his spiritual objective. So what's our spiritual objective? What is it? Capricorn marks not only the point of deepest concretion and therefore of death, but also the point of highest initiation and of entrance into the life aspect of deity. The will is an expression of the law of sacrifice, being essentially that monadic essence identified with the will or purpose of the planetary logos. Let this last sentence make an impress on our brain as I repeat it, because it's a very important statement from DK. The will is an expression of the law of sacrifice, being essentially that monadic essence, identified with the will and purpose of the planetary logos. The basic sacrifice which the planetary logos made was when he decided to incarnate or enter into the form of this planet. This was from pure choice, motivated by his fixed determination to function as the savior of the planet. Now the initiate too, on his tiny scale, must learn to function also as a savior. And this is what we as healers, we are. We are world saviors. That is our role. So the initiate on his tiny scale must learn to function also as a savior and thus express the law of sacrifice through the medium of the developed, pure reasoning will, and not simply from that of impulsive love and its activity. Here lies a basic distinction. Let's ponder on that sentence. The initiate expresses the law of sacrifice through the medium of the developed, pure reasoning will. Perfect light is the life purpose of our logos. The great theme of light underlies our entire planetary purpose. The full expression of perfect light, occultly understood, is the engrossing life purpose of our planetary logos. The soul itself is light. The entire hierarchy is a great center of light, causing the symbology of light to govern our thinking, our approach to God, and enabling us to understand somewhat the meaning of the words of Christ. I am the light of the world. These words carry meaning to all true disciples and present them with an analogous goal, which they define to themselves as that of finding the light, appropriating the light, and themselves becoming light bearers. And this is what we as healers are all about. We bring light. We are light bearers to humanity. And lastly, the center of life, where dwells the Ancient of Days, the eternal youth, the Lord of the world, Sanat Kumara, Melchizedek, God. Yet from that center streams the light of life, the light supernal. Our planetary logos, called the Great Sacrifice, made the sacrifice to incarnate, owing to his ability to identify himself in full consciousness with the soul in all forms of life. Those seeds of life striving within the substance of the form and seeking added life and light, as the old commentary puts it. His response, as expressed in will, activated by fixed determination, was to meet the deeply hidden divinity within these seeds. And the initiate, on his tiny scale, and this is us, has to learn to work as a nourisher and savior of the seeds of life within all forms, with which he may achieve a measure of identification. Under this law of sacrifice, Sanat Kumara must turn his back upon the central spiritual sun, and with the light of his countenance, irradiate the path of the prisoners of the planet. Acting as the sun and light of the planet until the day be with us, and the night of Pralaya descends upon his finished task. The soul is portrayed as a lotus with 9 petals, hiding within these petals a central unit of 3 petals. And these, in their turn, secrete the center of life, or the jewel in the lotus. And Capricorn guards the secret of the soul itself. And this it reveals to the initiate at the time of the 3rd initiation. This is sometimes called the secret of the hidden glory. That is, when the electrical fire of pure spirit, latent into the heart of the lotus, is first contacted. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back, are the keywords for the soul, for the initiate. So then let us be lost too in the light of the solar angel, or in the light of the hidden glory, the light of life, the light supernal in our identification with a solar self or with a spiritual self, the hidden life within all forms, just like our planetary logos does, identifies with the soul within the seeds of life. So let's visualize our lighthouse standing tall and detached in the middle of our garden, symbol of our silently united soul group. As we lose ourselves in the light of Master DK, blending and fusing with his light. At the summit is glowing as a powerful focal center of harmony, directing the light supernal in the heart of every blade of grass, every flower, every lotus, every tree, every molecule of water and of air in our garden. So now let's turn our back on the light of life, the life supernal, and let's distribute it as the one soul with no other goal but service, distributing it freely and selflessly to humanity. By visualizing the flow of unconditional love or the will to good, the supernal life, supernal light, emanating from the triangle, the avatar of synthesis, the spirit of peace, and the Lord Buddha, powering the Christ at the center. Let's superimpose this radiating triangle on another triangle consisting of the Christ, Master DK and the healing ashram, and of our soul group. Then superimpose these blended triangles on our group chakric triangle as we vitalize it with the light supernal, with the light of life, with the light of Buddhi, the light within the jewel. So let's superimpose it on our group crown chakra, our group ajna, and our group alta major. And then let's direct the dispelling radiance, via our group ajna, right eye, left eye, and place this blended triangle, impressing it over the three planetary centers triangle, London, Geneva, and New York. One Om, and bring the light supernal, woody, the will to good. Feel that vibration reaching the hearts of our fellow men, touching their hearts, transforming it in the process. And let us say the healer's mantra together, deliberately, believing in the results. And better still, knowing the results. May the love of the one soul focused in this group radiate upon you, our fellow men, and permeate every part of your body, healing, soothing, strengthening, and dissipating all that hinders service and good health. And may they thrive under the strenuous conditions of the climb to the mountaintop. And may the Makara further the metamorphosis of the goats into unicorns. So just like Christ does daily, standing under his great pine tree in his garden at sunset, with his hands uplifted in blessing over all those who truly and earnestly seek to aspire. Let's picture a great pine tree in our garden. And let's picture the Christ under this pine tree, Master DK, and the healing ashram. Let's picture all of us under this pine tree, saying the great invocations together as one group, one soul. And let's intone the powerful invocations, saying them with intensity of feeling, in unison with hierarchy on the inner planes, as we grasp their significance and believe that they embody the will of the planetary logos. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones, so let it be, and help us to do our part. Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, Almighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light. May they stand with massed intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, Almighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, Almighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, Almighty One, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. And lastly, the great invocation given to us by Christ. And and voiced himself for the very first time in 1945. A great spiritual event, DK tells us. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. Picture a shaft of light pouring down as we sound a blue om. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth and see a stream of love coming down on earth as we sound a blue om on the note G of love. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And now raise your clasp hands above the head and say, and so let it be. And help us to do our part and bring them down to your forehead and let them rest gently on your heart. May the blessing of the Christ and of hierarchy rest upon all true servers, and may they stand tranquil in the midst of strife. And may the light of the garden of our souls be on the inner plane, what the sun is to the gardens of the world, a place where the door of initiation stands ever open, and where the light of life shines forth, bringing healing to the whole.